The 5-star weekend ends on a surprisingly hopeful note after spending most of its season peeling back layers of grief, betrayal, and long-buried secrets. While the finale finally answers the biggest mystery surrounding Matthew's affair with Gigi, it also makes it clear that the real story isn't about infidelity. It's about whether Hollis can let go of the life she thought she had and embrace the one still waiting for her. For most of the series, Gigi represents Hollis's deepest betrayal. Not only did she have an affair with Matthew, but she deliberately inserted herself into Hollis's carefully planned 5-star weekend, while pretending to be someone else. It's difficult to imagine a greater violation of trust. After the other women debate everything from calling the police to humiliating Gigi, they ultimately leave the decision to Hollis herself. That choice becomes important because the finale isn't interested in revenge, it's interested in closure. When Gigi returns one last time, she doesn't try to justify what she did. She admits she betrayed Hollis and accepts every accusation directed at her, but she also reveals something Hollis never knew. On the day Matthew died, he called Gigi from his car to tell her their relationship was over. He'd chosen to end the affair. More importantly, he was driving home to Hollis when the fatal accident happened. Hollis confirms this by checking the accident report and realizing Matthew had indeed been traveling west toward home rather than away from it. That revelation doesn't erase months or perhaps years of deception. Matthew still lied to his wife and Gigi still willingly participated in the affair. Nothing changes those facts. What changes is Hollis's understanding of Matthew's final decision. Until now, she believed he died while living a double life, leaving her forever wondering whether he would have chosen his marriage or his mistress. The finale finally answers that question. Matthew had already made his choice. He was coming home. For Hollis, that knowledge doesn't repair the past, but it frees her from one of the most painful unanswered questions she's carried since his death. That's why she forgives Gigi. Not because Gigi deserves forgiveness, but because Hollis realizes holding on to anger will only keep her trapped in a marriage that has already ended. Her final words to Gigi perfectly capture that balance. She accepts the homemade toffee, forgives her, and then firmly tells her never to contact her again. The finale deliberately avoids turning Matthew into either a villain or hero. Throughout the season, we discover that his marriage to Hollis had been deteriorating long before his death. Their opening flashback shows two people who still care about each other but no longer know how to communicate. Their conversations revolve around work, distance, and routine rather than intimacy. Matthew's affair clearly reflects those problems, but episode 8 also shows he wasn't entirely committed to leaving his marriage behind. His voicemail to Gigi before the trip already hints that he intends to end things, and Gigi later confirms exactly that. Whether Matthew and Hollis could actually have repaired their relationship remains impossible to know because he dies before either of them gets the chance. That uncertainty is intentional. The finale doesn't pretend every broken marriage can be saved. Instead, it suggests that people often make life-changing decisions too late. Matthew finally chose Hollis, but fate never allowed either of them to discover what that decision might have meant. Hollis must now live with both truths at once. Matthew betrayed her, Matthew also chose to come back. Neither truth cancels out the other. Jack's return could easily have become a fairy tale ending, but the series wisely avoids that. Jack finally admits he listened to the emotional voicemail Hollis left years earlier and confesses that he's always imagined what their lives might have looked like together. After decades apart, they finally spend the night together. But the next morning, Hollis stops herself from rushing into another relationship. She's still grieving, her business is struggling, her relationship with Caroline is only beginning to heal. She's emotionally exhausted after learning the truth about Matthew. Instead of replacing one relationship with another, Hollis decides she first needs to rebuild herself. Jack understands. Rather than demanding commitment, he simply agrees to let things develop naturally. Their final scene reflects that same maturity. Instead of dramatic declarations of eternal love, Jack simply asks for her phone number so they can stop overthinking everything. Then he asks her to dinner. It's refreshingly ordinary. After an entire season built around extraordinary emotional upheaval, the ending reminds us that healthy relationships often begin with very small steps. The emotional heart of the finale isn't actually Matthew, it's Caroline. Throughout the season, Hollis has tried to protect her daughter by hiding painful truths. When Hollis finally prepares to confess Matthew's affair, Caroline quietly reveals she already knows. More importantly, she explains that hiding difficult truths only created more distance between them. That conversation becomes one of the series' biggest turning points. Matthew's death already forced Hollis to redefine herself as a widow. Now Caroline helps her redefine herself as a mother. For the first time in years, they're completely honest with each other. The relationship they rebuild is stronger because it's based on truth rather than protection. The finale also gives each member of the 5-star weekend a hopeful new beginning. Aubrey finally admits her marriage to Dylan has been over for a long time and decides to stop pretending everything is fine simply for their son. Her conversation with Caroline reminds both women that difficult choices don't automatically make someone the villain. Brooke believes Sunny has disappeared from her life until they unexpectedly reunite at the ferry terminal. The misunderstanding turns out to be nothing more than a lost phone, and Brooke finally allows herself to pursue the relationship without fear. Inspired by Brooke's willingness to embrace change, Joanne begins considering leaving her secure career to build a business of her own, suggesting the weekend has encouraged everyone to take risks. Meanwhile, Tatum's storyline delivers one final emotional twist. Her biopsy initially appears devastating, but doctors reveal they discovered suspicious cells early enough for treatment. Although the diagnosis remains frightening, the prognosis is hopeful, allowing her and her husband to face the future together with cautious optimism. Rather than ending every storyline with perfect certainty, the finale emphasizes possibility. Every woman leaves Nantucket carrying hope instead of fear. One of Hollis's biggest character changes comes when Chelsea offers her an appearance on Good Morning Boston. Earlier in the series, Hollis almost certainly would have accepted. Her identity had become tied to constant work, content creation, and professional success. But after the weekend, she realizes she doesn't need another career milestone to feel fulfilled. Instead, she chooses something she hasn't prioritized in years, her own happiness. She remains on Nantucket, continues filming cooking videos because she genuinely enjoys them, and lets her career support her life instead of defining it. It's one of the clearest signs that she's finally stopped trying to outrun her grief. At first glance, the 5-star weekend looks like a mystery surrounding Matthew's affair. By the finale, however, it becomes clear that Matthew was never the story's true focus. Every major character arrives carrying an outdated version of themselves. The weekend forces each of them to confront painful truths they have avoided. Some relationships end, others begin, and some dreams change completely. But every character leaves stronger because they finally stop pretending everything is fine. Even Matthew's final revelation serves that larger theme. Learning that he chose to return home doesn't magically heal Hollis. It simply removes the final obstacle preventing her from moving forward. That's why the series ends with something as ordinary as Jack asking for her phone number and suggesting dinner. The grand love story isn't the point, the possibility of a new beginning is. Ultimately, the 5-star weekend argues that healing doesn't come from erasing painful memories or rewriting the past. It comes from accepting that people are complicated, friendships can become lifelines, and happiness sometimes begins only after life falls apart. By the time Hollis watches the sunset with Caroline and quietly agrees to see Jack again, she isn't returning to the woman she was before Matthew died. She's finally becoming someone entirely new, and for the first time in a long while, she's genuinely ready to embrace whatever comes next.